everybody today? Yay, good. Can you hear me well? Yeah. All right, okay. So I got a few questions. Hands up and down, okay? So, first question does anybody believe it's possible to predict the direction of Bitcoin in advance, either up or down? Good, 4 people. Okay. Last year, Bitcoin had 5 tops, or cycle highs. It had one in March. It had one in June. It then had one in November. Actually, one in September, then November, and it had one in December, which was the $20,000 top. So, raise the hands again. How many people believe it's possible to, within 24 to 48 hours, say 2-day window, to predict any one of those tops? Is it possible in advance? Obviously, the most realistic answer would be no. It's quite impossible. So I want to take you on a little journey today about what I do. So my presentation today and the talk is specifically about another question. Raise of hands. How many people would like to make $1 million by January of next year? Pretty much most hands went up, so thank you. Okay. All right, and then with regards to the $1 million, the crazy part is the potential investment that you might need to do would be around $20,000 only to make, as crazy as it might seem, $1 million. And is this possible? Well, if you know what Bitcoin did last year, the answer is yes. It is actually quite possible to make this kind of a staggering gain. Okay, and in doing so, to make this happen, as with any investment, you always want to make sure you don't take or put all your money in one egg, or one basket. So you want to diversify. That's the key to any smart investing. So what I did today is I picked 4 coins for you. These 4 coins, I believe, have a very strong future, and I think a very strong next 12 months. So at the end of this presentation, we'll go through these next 4 coins. Before we get started, everything I say today is not financial advice, because I'm not a financial planner, but I'm giving you my opinion. However, my opinion last year, I have a lot of subscribers, probably one of the largest subscription services in the world with relation to Bitcoin, and I have a very, very small cancellation rate, which means that people are very, very happy with what I've forecast. And what I give to my subscribers is something very special. It's a time point. They're dates. Okay? So, next slide. Last year, those of you, how many people here were on the blockchain cruise last year? Those of you who were here in January, Bitcoin, I'm sure you know what it did. It crashed. Okay? And Bloomberg was more than willing to go ahead and post a very nice article talking about how the Bitcoin cruise, everybody was partying, and the bros on the cruise were watching Bitcoin crash. They even published a second article and talking about a 25% Bitcoin crash during the time of the cruise. So they were very, very welcome, and the media loves to talk about the negativity and the bad side of Bitcoin, but we as investors who purchase it really want to look at the good side of it, okay? But if you don't want people to buy it, what's the most important thing you want to do? You want to always publish the negative news, and that's what's been going on in this world. All right, and just a quick little synopsis. Here's a chart. So you'll see January 11th, and then you'll see the crash of about $3,500 down to $10,000, and that's what Bitcoin did last year during the cruise. So who am I, and what do I do? I'm an analyst of time. So everything I do is not price based. Okay, I don't base my work off price. I will make guesses on price. So anything that I reference today in terms of a price, it is a guess. But it's my best guess, and usually they're not too terribly off. But last year I was looking for about 12 to 13,000 on Bitcoin, and it went to 20,000. But the point was, I had the time point for it, so it really didn't matter that the price was off, because really, what matters more if you ask 2 investors? There's only 2 things in life. There's 2 things in life with regard to trading. And what are they? Price and time, right? And so if you ask any investor, what would you rather know? Would you rather know the actual price of the top, or the day that it might happen, or the week? And it's all, everybody will always say it's more important to know when it might happen, because then you have the advantage of, you don't have to sit there and watch your screen all day. So my speaking engagements, I've been invited to speak all over the world, from Singapore, New York, Hong Kong, Washington, Toronto. So basically I've been around. My focus has not been Bitcoin. My focus over the past 10 years has been gold and silver. Interestingly enough, those of you who might know some of my work, in the year 2011, when gold reached $1,900, I scheduled an interview on that date saying that gold on this date tops and it will not go higher. I nailed it to the day. 4 months prior, in the month of May, same thing happened. Silver topped at $49, and mathematically it was a calculated top, and can be verified. Then, on top of that, in the year 2015, in the month of November, a month in advance, I scheduled an interview calling the exact bottom for gold, and that came in at $1,045 on precisely December 3rd, and to this day, that low holds as the low for gold since the $1,900 top. I then applied everything I learned about gold and silver, and I applied it to Bitcoin. And I realized it wasn't any different. I could actually use the work that I learned about gold and silver, applying it to Bitcoin. So then what did I do? Last January, I posted a video on YouTube. You can verify this. It's on my YouTube channel. This is the secret Bitcoin cycle. In that video, I said 3 things would happen. Bitcoin would make a new all-time high in the month of March, and then it would drop by approximately $300, say $400, right after it made the top. Well, Bitcoin in the month of March, it topped precisely on the 3rd, so I was 48 hours off, and then following the top, it dropped $400, or actually $407. So this is the chart for Bitcoin. So this is the first target that I hit for Bitcoin, nearly perfect. Next comes the month of September. In September, Bitcoin was running up, and everybody kept thinking it's going to keep going. I posted another video on September 1, and I said Bitcoin tops today, September 1. On September 1, Bitcoin topped. What did it do? I also said it's going to drop $2,000 to $3,000, and it dropped $2,700 in September. Following September, I did another forecast. I posted another video. These videos are on my YouTube channel, Gold 2020 Forecast. The next forecast was for November. I said Bitcoin would make a cycle high in November. Following the November top, it was going to drop another $2,000 to $3,000. Those of you who look at the charts will know that in November, Bitcoin topped on the 8th, and then it dropped $2,333 in the month of November. And then next, and this is the important one, this is the one that everybody, wish they knew, because in the month of November, I was invited to speak in San Francisco. In San Francisco, I stated on stage that Bitcoin is going to make a very, very, very important top the first week of January. After that top in January, Bitcoin will crash for many, many, many months afterwards. Well, those of you know, Bitcoin topped at $20,000 in December. Following the December top, what it did was, it came down in December, came back up into January, and then following the January top, it then crashed nearly $11,000, okay? Everybody knows it now, right? That's during the time of the Bitcoin cruise. So the Bitcoin cruise took $3,500 of the $11,000. So this is your top here. In January, 17,000. You had $11,000 crash, and then the bottom came in February. So my warning for the top that was going to hit in the first week of January was correct. Since the crash, guess where Bitcoin is? It's been up and down, but it's been basically stuck under $7,000. Today it trades at 6,400, 6,500 range. Today is the 9th of September, and Bitcoin still continues to be People are using the word manipulated or controlled, and yes, Bitcoin continues to be manipulated and controlled, and it still has not broken to any new highs, continues to be stuck. Today's price under 7,000. However, something very, 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 very special happened on the 24th of August. On the 24th of August, Bitcoin began a bull market. Here's $19,000, $20,000 Bitcoin in December. You'll see the top here in July. Right here, on the 24th, Bitcoin broke out. It broke out of the channel. It broke the wedge. On that time point, which we had in advance, we knew that when that happened, Bitcoin's bull market was about to begin. So Bitcoin, whether you believe it or not, is in a bull market, as in an up cycle, ever since the 24th of August. When a market breaks out, what a market does is it comes back. So those of you who don't understand how to read charts, I'll show you an example. But a market, it will break out, it will come back, and it will touch the breakout point. It'll touch the breakout line. So it broke out, came back, and it touched the final touch point. It nailed it to within $1. And since then, Bitcoin is sitting right about here. So this is what's about to happen to Bitcoin. It's about to go vertical. Bitcoin broke out, and it's about to go vertical, okay? So if you're looking to add positions, if you're looking to buy Bitcoin, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you Bitcoin is in an up cycle as of the 24th because a bull market has resumed for Bitcoin. Phases. So Bitcoin or any bull market has phases. It just doesn't go straight up. If anybody thinks Bitcoin, when it goes, it's just going to go straight up, it ain't going to happen that way, because the reason is it's violent. What does it do? The manipulators want to keep smashing it down, but Bitcoin can only be controlled for so long. When it starts to go, it's going to start to go aggressively, but there will be points in time where the manipulators get in and smash it, okay? I'll give you some points in time to be aware of. Number one is Bitcoin is in phase one. Phase one is where we're all sitting today. Bitcoin is being denied as a bull market. This is the denial phase, and everybody thinks that Bitcoin is still going to go lower. But in fact, the Bitcoin market has begun. And the bull market began on the 24th, and Bitcoin has a cycle high in the month of October. When October comes, in some point in the month of October, Bitcoin will top. I'm not providing the date as a courtesy to my subscribers, but I will tell you Bitcoin will top or make its next cycle high in the month of October. The dates I provide within what we call in my subscription services in the Bitcoin Index. That is where I talk about the actual dates that we provide. Then, the first week of October, Bitcoin's going to have a nice strong jump, okay? This is where people are going to start to get really excited. Bitcoin's going to begin to move in early October. End of September into early October. That move will be stifled. Okay, so they will be able to stop Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to have a cycle. It will have a top in December, in October, and then it's going to drop. Following the drop in October, do expect something awesome to happen in November. I call it November shock. This is where Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies and gold and silver and a lot of things that have been, everything that's been suppressed starts to break free. The month of November is going to be awesome, okay? Month of November brings in the second phase. It's called the wall of worry because it's shooting higher. People are worried, should I buy? Do I sell because it's going up? What do I do? But the wall of worry begins in November because it gets really exciting. So November is a time to look forward to. Why? Because heavy investing, money is going to pile into the cryptocurrencies in the month of November. I call it the floodgates, okay? So all the people that are not putting money into Bitcoin, the big hitters, the heavy hitters are going to be piling in to Bitcoin in the month of November. At least what's supposed to be starting at that time point. It's going to flow into December. So those 2 months are going to be really, really awesome. But December is going to, again, they're going to put the brakes on. It's going to top in December, it's going to drop, going to come back down. Everybody wants to know, who wants to be a Bitcoin millionaire? Who wants to make money? Well, following the drop in December, it will sharply reverse, and then the fireworks, okay? In the month of January, we're going to start to see massive moves, even bigger than what happened in November, December. And money is going to be piling in. And the numbers that these cryptos hit are going to be stupid. okay? Because when the money piles in, this will not be billions of dollars going into Bitcoin. It will probably be hundreds of billions, okay? These people, what John McAfee today was on stage and he talked about something truly amazing. What he said was, and he nailed it, a new era of time is coming.
We stand up on these stages and we promote this currency against that currency. We talk about growth, we talk about investment. We're ignoring one thing. We are on the cusp of a new age, a new society, a new way of living, a society that potentially is free for every individual.
So what you all sit here believe that Bitcoin's stuck at 7,000 and everything, when a new era of time arrives, a new time point, this is a new age that we have waited for generations. When this hits, money is gonna change from one sector, from this dying paper money sector, and it's going to fly into a new currency, and that is digital. It's also going to be gold and silver. It's going to be anything and everything that isn't paper. Paper in the end is just paper. Okay, so yes, we live in a world of paper, but the new, the amazing speeches that were put on today by Charlie Lee, by the speakers here, John McAfee, they were talking specifically about the speed of Bitcoin, how efficient it is, how fast it is, how you can't replicate it, how there's only so many of them. What makes Bitcoin unique is the fact there's only so many of them. You can't, and as in Litecoin, same thing, you can only make so many of them. Whereas the US currencies, the fiat currencies, have been printed to infinity. If you don't believe me, go research it for yourself. The paper money system can be printed to infinity. Why? Because it's centralized. So only the people who run the central system know how much money they're printing. No one else does. Blockchain technology is worldwide. This is going to be a worldwide phenomenon that's going to hit the world. And when it hits the world, it's going to change the world. So as sitting here today, your question you need to ask yourself, if you knew that the dot-com bubble, that before it happened, and you could buy stuff for pennies, and then it's going to go up to $100, $1,000. If you knew that was happening, and someone told you in advance, and you threw a little money at it, how much would it change your life very shortly? So this is the thing. We're about to embark on a new era of time. I'm telling you, this is going to change the world how it works. And if you are crazy enough to throw a little money at it, guess what? It just might, and I'm telling you, it will change your life. So my top coin, Digibyte. I believe this one's going to rock. Okay? Why? It's just like Litecoin, but faster. Longer blockchain. There's 1,000 reasons for it, but I love Litecoin too. But this one's just as good. Number 2, I do like Stellar. Stellar has amazing potential for the future, has a great chart, okay? Number three, I mentioned it earlier, Charlie Lee was on stage. Litecoin, you gotta have this coin. It's gonna rock, okay? Litecoin's gonna do incredible. And another coin that I like is Ethereum Classic. So these are my 4 coins. Do I have more coins than this? You bet I do, okay? I got a lot more than this, but my top 4 coins, or some of my top 4 coins, are right here, and I think this is sufficient enough to prove my point financially of what could happen. So, let's talk about this. Digibyte currently trades, as when I made this slide, around 2.7 cents, under 3 pennies. Okay, so it's basically a penny stock if you want to look at it that way. Digibyte itself today is around 2.6 cents. Stellar Lumens is approximately 20 cents. Litecoin is, at the time of this slide, 57 cents. Today on the 9th of September, I think it's trading at 55 cents. I just bought some more. And then Ethereum Classics are at around 12 cents. Again, diversify. So if you were crazy enough and you said, you know what, I'm going to throw some money at this, and you threw as an example $20,000. Well, that would buy you approximately 185,000 digibyte, 25,000 stellar lumens, 88 Litecoin, and 415 Ethereum Classic. So you're saying, okay, big deal, I bought that. All right, it might go up a little bit. I might make a little bit of money. I might lose some. Your risk is very low, considering the prices are so low right now. You really have little to no risk, okay? Think about it. It's been dropping ever since January, December. You know, you've had 8 to 9 months of downside pressure. So what is your risk? I would say extremely, extremely low. On the upside, think about this. Could you imagine missing out on this? Imagine missing the train. The train's about to leave the station. I'm giving you, as crazy as this might sound, some price targets for January. If my price targets hit, you might make $1 million. If my price targets don't hit, let's say I'm even 80% off, and 20% of my price targets hit, you still make crazy money, okay? 50% you make crazy money. Here are my targets. Digibyte, I got at $3 by January. Okay, that might be low. Number 2, Stellar, $10. Okay, by January. Litecoin, $3,000. Now, could it go to $2,000? Hey, I'm not complaining. Even at $1,500, but $1,500 would be a bare bones minimum, probably higher. And lastly, Ethereum Classic, $400 to $500, okay? So these are crazy price targets, but when the era of time shifts, a new dimension hits, a new financial system hits, this financial system could very inevitably change your life. That's the point of this talk today. So portfolio value comes up to over $500,000 in digibyte value. You're looking at $250,000 in Stellar, $250,000 in Litecoin, and just over $200,000 in Ethereum. So basically, you're looking at a net gain. You're looking at a move of about over $1 million. And again, even if I was 80% off, okay, you're still making a couple $100,000 on my forecast. Here's the funny part. 3 phases, and you're like, oh wow, that's crazy. Guess what? It ain't over. I only got to January, and it drops. After January, we come to the last phase of 2019. This is what I believe is going to happen. It's called the stupid phase. Or let's call, I named it to be polite, irrational phase. But I believe it's going to be the stupid phase, where anybody and their grandma is going to be buying cryptos. And they'll make it available. That's the key. By that time point, it'll be available that anybody in the world will be able to probably call a broker up or do something easily with a phone call and be able to buy the cryptocurrencies. The problem with buying digital currencies at this time point, okay, in the last phase, is typically what happens is the move that's made in the last phase is completely retraced back to a minimum of the third phase. Okay, so anybody that's going to buy in that last phase, unfortunately, is going to suffer because it shoots up to stupid numbers, but then they'll be able to manipulate it back down to probably about the third phase. So you want to get in before the fourth phase and the final phase is hit. The fourth phase is going to be like December was last year, stupid numbers. Okay, but those stupid numbers, the cool thing is about what I do is everything I gave you today with relation to pricing, it was a guess. But I'm telling you, they're not going to be too far off in terms of prices. Now, the other thing is, with relation to the top of next year, again, I don't care if the top's going to come in. And Charlie Lee said it best. If anybody gives you a price for a top of Litecoin, Bitcoin, they're guessing. And you're right, because it's complete guess. So I don't know where Bitcoin or Litecoin is going to top out next year, but I have the time point. So I know roughly where the top's going to come in. And that's all that matters with everything. It's about where the cycle high comes in. So these time points I do provide, I do have within, again, my Bitcoin index for my subscribers. If you are a trader, okay, again, key reference, if you're a trader, yes, those time points are important to you. Otherwise, you know, all you got to do is fasten your seatbelt, buy some popcorn, enjoy the ride. Whether this fits into the cryptocurrency conference or not, I did want to make reference to it because what's going on in our world, as crazy as this is, it's a battle, okay? It's a battle between good and evil, okay? You may not believe this, but that's what's going on. The manipulators are not letting the price go up. I've seen it happen in gold and silver for 6 years. They're manipulating the price. They don't want it to go up. Why do they not want cryptocurrencies? Why do they not want Bitcoin? Why do they not want Litecoin, gold or Bitcoin, to go up in value? Because if it goes up in value, guess what their paper's worth? Less. Okay? It won't go to zero overnight, but it's worth less. And that's the key. They don't want it to happen. So today as I speak, on the 9th of September, those of you who know the work of Jonathan Cahn, I didn't study his work too much, but I can tell you he's got like 2,000 years of history in his work and what he studied. And then this date today is a little 29. Within a few days of this date, plus or minus, you had the World Trade Center, there's massive events that happen within the world, give or take a few days of this date, the 29th. Then, more interesting, but this is a shift from good energy to bad energy. And so if we're talking bad energy, which is running the world right now, when will be the one point in time that good energy might actually hit the world? Well, guess what? Tishri 1. What happened 2,000 years ago? This is crazy, but this is what happened. Jesus walks into the temple and he reads from the scrolls. He says, "The Spirit of the Lord is in me because he has anointed me to proclaim the good news for the poor, and he has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, and to recovery of the sight from the blind, and to set the oppressed free." Who are the oppressed? It's the people who are controlled by the paper monetary system, okay? And this is the best part. And to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. What I described to you is a year of awesomeness that's coming for Bitcoin, Litecoin, gold, and silver. Within a week of this date comes Yom Kippur's holiest day of the year. So why is this time point so important? Because the month of September, as I showed you earlier, it's a very important time point biblically. And then lastly, this is supposed to be a time like we've never seen in the history of our world. A time like never before and never again. The month of December is supposed to be a month of great rejoicing, prosperity, and abundance. Next year is a year of multiplication. So the spring season is supposed to be truly incredible. The spring season lines up with phase 4 that I talked about earlier. So phase 4 should be truly amazing, and that does line up with the seasons. I do truly appreciate everybody being here today. I hope I've enlightened you. I hope I've given you some motivation. And I truly, I hope your life's changed next year. So God bless. Be well.